You're listening to the Plumbing Company Marketing Podcast, a podcast dedicated to helping your service-based business grow and thrive using the latest technology in internet marketing. And now, here's the host of our show and the CEO of Grow Inc., Matt Law.
All right, everyone, welcome back to another episode. And we are super excited to share with you today. This episode is a bonus episode, and we're calling it the Rainmaker episode. And it's basically a summary of everything that goes into seeing companies grow by 300% or more. And so we've got a lot of training on our podcasts. We've got a lot of great feedback. I think it's helped a lot of people. We're also giving away a ton of great resources, including our free marketing book, our software checklist, our marketing checklist, as well as some other great resources. So I encourage you to check those out on our website at Grow Inc. But today, in this bonus episode, we want to kind of summarize all that goes into seeing a company grow by 200, 300% or more. So before I dive into this summary, this rainmaking episode, I want to give you a little bit of background about myself. My name is Matt Law. I am the CEO of a company called Grow Inc. We work exclusively with service-based businesses like yours. Our model is very different. Instead of charging a fee, we are compensated based on the success of our marketing campaigns. We do things a lot differently, but a background about me, I've been doing marketing since about 2004. I was setting up Google ad campaigns and doing SEO. So over 20 years, I've been an entrepreneur for a long time. I love service businesses. I love helping small companies who are small, grow, win, and leave a legacy. And it is a passion of ours. We're located in Central Florida. And unlike big marketing agencies, we don't have a lot of clients. We have a small number of clients. And we really work exclusively with them to make sure they win and grow. So in this episode today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay out that entire blueprint or that entire plan all in one episode and kind of give you a look at what goes into a full marketing campaign. And really, this is what it takes to grow by 200 to 300%. And this is a full deep dive into a list of the marketing activities that you will need to do to grow by 200 to 300%. So I'm going to tell you, it is going to sound like a lot. It's a lot of work. And the truth is, it is. But it takes a lot of work and effort to see a company go from $800,000 to $4 million. To do that, you have to do the right things. And so let's deep dive right now. So with us, our process starts with a clear plan. Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People begin with the end in mind. And so for us, normally we do a 1-hour introductory call just to meet the company, find out about them. And then we do a 2-hour deep dive planning session where we ask them questions about their company, their marketing. We look at their data. Then we run their SEO rankings. We look at competitors. We see if they even have the possibility for growth. And then we send them a growth summary. So before we even collect a penny from a client, I've probably spent 4 hours on the phone with them or in online meetings. And then we also spend another half day or more coming up with a strategy that, based on other business models that we work or other clients that we work with, what should work in their area. So think about this. We even have an application to say, hey, you have to fill this out to see if you can work with us. And the reason is we only will partner with clients who we believe can grow. Now, maybe you own a service business in the middle of Nebraska of a town of 500. Obviously, we wouldn't be able to help you because you are going to max out how many people you can help and what your growth potential is because of that small geographic area. So with us, our process is, and you have to understand this, and I hopefully it will help you. There's going to be a limit to how much you can grow, and it's based on how much you're willing to expand, based on your geo targeted area. But it's also based on your competition. It's based on market saturation. It's based on a lot of different things. Another thing we look at is, does a company have good reviews? Do people say good things? And so before we will attempt to market a company, we say, hey, we got to get your reviews up to at least 4.7 or higher, preferably 4.8, because if you are treating your prospects and your customers like crap, then good marketing isn't going to help you grow if you are a bad business person. So before we even say yes, we will start with the planning process. We kind of qualify a company and we really make sure that there is opportunity. So we'll look at their rankings. If their rankings are bad, there's opportunity for growth. If their competitors aren't doing a good job, there's an opportunity for growth. Is there an area that they can reach out to? What are the areas they service? Are they measuring their marketing? So we have a kind of like a quality control list that we go through before we even charge a penny to try to help a company grow. And for us, it is a way for us to find the right prospects and the right clients for our company and really make sure that if we take them on, they're going to grow. So you're like, Matt, that's a lot of planning time. I've never had a marketing agency spend that much time with you. Well, that's just the tip of the iceberg. So before we start on any project, we spend 2 full days planning where we actually fly out and meet with that client. And you're like, well, that's overkill. You would be surprised at how much clarity we get. And so I'll kind of tell you what happens in that 2-day meeting, so you can see why this is important, and this is what it takes for a company to grow. So in that 2-day, we start off the first morning by coming up with the company's unique selling points. Unique selling points are the company's overall marketing message that says why they are better. So do you use better materials than your competitors? Do you have more experience than your competitors? Do you have better reviews? So we come up with unique selling points and ways for the company to innovate so that they can have a longer warranty, different things like that. So we really usually push on a company to become better or to innovate. So a lot of times you may have like a 1-year warranty. We try to extend that. Sometimes a company has like a 20-year warranty. And I'm like, hey, we need to say that to all of your prospects, all of your people that are considering working with you. And so unique selling points are the company's overall marketing message. It goes into all your ads, it goes into your website copy, it goes into a special package that we deliver when someone requests a quote or your sales guys visit to share about the company and they're in an appointment. So unique selling points, just think of this as your overall company marketing message. So we are going to figure out why you're better and how we can communicate that. We give you examples of all of that, why we're there. By the afternoon, we are going to go on and talk about your platforms and your offers. Platforms are anywhere you connect with your prospects. That's going to be mainly on your website. Sometimes service companies have an office where people will drop in. That's not as normal as them calling or requesting a quote online. But we will figure out how we can basically optimize their platform, which normally is going to be like their website. So we're going to talk about their website. We're going to talk about all of that is going to go onto the website, what cities they're going to serve, all of their services that they offer, their geographic location. So all of those cities that we're going to target. That's going to go into all of that. And we're going to have a final plan of what the form's going to look like, how it's all going to go. And then we'll start talking about measurable marketing. The next day, we go through all of the marketing. So I show a company how their marketing is going to be measured from their phone calls to every lead they get online. We'll know where it came from so we can track a return on investment. And we'll go through SEO, pay-per-click, all of these things and showing client examples of how it all works. And then we get into marketing automation and the ultimate customer lifecycle, how we're going to follow up with that prospect once we get them, once they become a customer, how we're going to keep them as a customer for life on the A to Z buying spectrum. All of that is covered in those 2 days. So it's a lot of information and planning. But when we are done, we have a exact blueprint for the first year of growth, including the SEO articles, the cities, the website, and not always do we do a new website, but most of the time, and we'll talk about that here as we go through the podcast, is because most clients have a website that is not converting. And so once we have all of this stuff finalized, it is then put into what we call a conceptual agreement. It's all the information that we are going to do for that company for that year. It includes their fees, includes the costs, their budget, all of that. And then we get started on that. So what does a campaign look like to grow by 300%? Well, one thing we have been doing for clients is we come up with a final list of their unique selling points. And this is actually the copy of their unique selling points. Now, that is going to go into all of their print marketing, which I'll talk about in a second. But that is also going to be the copy on their website. When we write articles about the company, when we create emails for the company, all of this is based on your unique selling points or why you're better than your competitors. And I want to explain why unique selling points matter. If everything is the same, if your business is the same as everybody else, then the only thing that people are going to decide to buy on is price, because people buy on value. So if everything is the same, people are going to pick the cheapest company. Unique selling points help us separate you from your competitors. So maybe you have a longer warranty. Maybe you have no money down up front. There's a lot of different variables. Do you screen all your contractors? Are they drug tested? There's a lot of things that go into this. And so if we can say, here's how we are better, then if you are more money, people will still work with you or want to work with you. So those are your unique selling points, and you'll get those. Then we hire an actor to do a walk-on video script. And if you go to Grow Inc., you can see an example of a walk-on video. And it's basically an actor that has a little video in the bottom corner of your screen, and they share your unique selling point, the areas you serve, all of that. We also use an AI chatbot that we train about your business, your hours, your location, the cities you serve, your unique selling points, all of that. And that goes into our package as well. Then we plan out your website, all of the pages. So normally our clients are going to start with about 70 pages when their site goes live. So that's not just your main services, but then we have content ranking articles, which I'll talk about here in a moment. But this is all goes into your website plan, and then we begin to work on that. Sometimes clients have a bad logo, or they need it fixed, or they need it recreated. And then we're going to do that, and we'll make a brand guide so we know your colors, so your fonts, colors, all of that match. And it looks really, really professional. Now, if you have a great website, then we're going to look at, is it fast? Can it be fixed? Can it be restored? A lot of what goes into SEO is it has to be a fast website, it has to be secure. And so there's a couple of reasons why sometimes even if a site is decent, we will still recreate it because we can just do so much more with it. Our websites, our landing pages have a very high conversion rate. So that matters a lot. So if you're not getting web leads and you're like, why am I not getting web leads? It may be your website. The other thing is what you're saying on your website. Is it fast? Is it secure? There's a lot that goes into it. Is the content unique? So when we plan out a website to decide to do a website for a client, which is in most cases we do, we want to fix it. We want to make sure the brand is on point. We want to make sure the font's on point. And usually what goes into that website is we are going to have their main pages, which are going to be the hardest keywords to rank for. So like it would be your service page for your main city on the homepage, and then your various services that you offer. And then we are going to go in and we are going to add reviews to your website. So you'll have your best reviews. It will leave off the worst ones. We're going to implement that video actor that talks to them, the chat bot, all of the branding and all that. We're going to do a form. So when people request a quote, it will block them if they're trying to sell you something like SEO services. It has address autocomplete on there. It verifies the email address to make sure it's a valid email address, so we're not missing any leads. And we're building this into the website, and then we're going to add about anywhere from 70 to maybe 120 SEO articles onto the website. So imagine launching your website, going live with 70 SEO articles, which are all targeted for the cities that you serve. And so basically, if you have a city that's close to you, like in my location, maybe like Daytona Beach is a city that's close to me that we could serve, or Orlando. So I could do Orlando would be the geographic location. And then I would create a service page for that. Orlando service, Daytona Beach service, DeLand service. These are all cities in our area. And by doing that, you will rank in the organic sections. Now, remember, we're building these landing pages. Those are created for SEO, but they're also created for pay-per-click landing pages. We integrate measurable marketing, which is called urgent tracking method or UTM data, into all of our marketing. So when someone clicks over from an ad and then they fill out a form on your website, you get an email and it goes into your CRM and it says, hey, you just got a lead from Google Ads. Or if you get a call, we also integrate call tracking, where if you get a call, you can click a button and say, hey, this call came from Google My Business or Google Local. So the website is a big part of making sure a client wins. And so I know you probably paid a designer to do your website, and obviously we want to have good design, but our websites for clients are built with marketing in mind. And so one, we've got to make sure your website converts and be a lead generating machine. And it's got to be SEO friendly and healthy. So we got to have the forms easy to use. It's got to sell, but we got to generate the lead, and then we got to measure it. So it's very, very powerful. And I think one of the websites are probably one of our secret sauces that we have. But if you are trying to grow your business and you think you're going to grow your business on a crappy website, and we have a whole podcast episode about this, like WordPress website, unsecure, getting a ton of spam leads, it's not going to work. And so a lot of developers use WordPress. It's just not secure. So one thing is having the right website with the right SEO pages, the right SEO content. All of that is super helpful. Then we go in and we create your print marketing package. And so remember, we figured out your unique selling points and why you're better. We want a way to communicate that to people, and to your prospects. And so basically it is a custom folder, and we don't do a big folder. It's like half size of a folder. Business cards, if you already have those, we'll kind of recreate them so everything matches. There is a document that's an insert that has all of your unique selling points on it, why you're better. So it's got a welcome letter, list of your unique selling points. There's another document that has some of your best reviews. If you have other services that you can cross-sell or upsell, we'll put that in there. We'll put in a document about financing. So if you offer financing for your services, so people can apply right online, and then their business card is inserted. There's a magnet. And so you've got this awesome welcome folder that you will give when you go on sales calls. I'm just going to tell you right now, your competitors don't do this. And if you give it to them and show your unique selling points, the welcome letter, the professional appearance, it's going to increase your conversions because they are going to go through that package. They're going to read your unique selling points and how you're different. It's very, very powerful. So imagine when you go to meet with somebody to sell your service or whatever you're doing, and maybe it's a big ticket item, and you get out your folder and you give it to them when you get there. It's very, very helpful and informative. We also convert that same package into a PDF where it's got, obviously not the folder, but it's got all of your articles, all of those pages, those inserts. And as soon as they request a quote online, or if you add them to your CRM via phone, it sends them a text and an email with a link to that package. It's a great way to welcome them. And so now we've got your print stuff done. We've got your website healthy. Then it's time to clean up your business listing. So we usually will go into your Google My Business account. Hopefully you have claimed that. Usually you have, or your Google Maps listing of your business. And we're going to clean it up, make sure that there's nothing wrong on there that is something you should not be doing. Making sure your name, address, and phone numbers match on your Google account to your website. We're also going to add structured data to your website to say, hey, this is the business, this is the hours, these are our products, these are our reviews. We're going to update all of that information, and then we're going to claim your big citation locations, which are Apple, Bing, Yahoo. We're going to make sure we have those updated. And that's going to give you a boost in your local SEO. All of this service has to do with local SEO. So if you want to rank higher in maps, like the 3-pack at the top, this is what you have to do. You have to update your name, address, and phone number. Even if you don't have an office, you still have to make sure your phone number and your website, your URL, and your service locations are all updated, your hours, all of that. And then what we're going to do is we are going to order a bunch of citations. So most clients start with about 30 citations, which is a verification of their name, address, and phone number. And then they're going to end with about 300 over the course of the next couple of years. So what we do is we actually go look at your competitors and see where they're listed, and we add those citations to your account so that way you can rank. And we have a podcast training on local SEO, but local SEO is an area that you can really make up a lot of ground, and you can get a lot of free calls there. So a lot goes into local SEO: reviews, social media, your page authority, your website, all of this, making sure your name, address, and phone numbers, your citations match. And we're going to do all of that as a big part of the local launch. So once that is done, you're going to rank better in the map section. As we continue to add citations and links back to your website, it is actually going to grow. So you may start off ranking only number one in a very small area, but as we continue to build citations, your map exposure is going to grow. So that's local SEO, ranking in the maps. And remember, I told you we have the very healthy website, and the healthy website is key. But the next part of it is doing SEO on the website. So normally what we'll do is we'll put into our rank tracker all of your cities, all of your services, and then we are going to monitor rankings from your location. So it's not based on my location, it's based on how you rank in that area. We'll run these rankings right off the bat. Most prospects and new companies aren't ranking for anything when they start. And if you end up talking to us, or we end up working on something like this, before we even accept a client, we have to make sure they're not ranking, because if they are ranking, then it hurts our chances for helping that company grow. But most companies, unless they followed this strategy, they're not ranking for any keywords on when I run their rankings. And so we're going to check your rankings for those 100 keywords. Remember, we're going to add all of these articles to your website. We got writers writing it. We're going to build initial backlinks, which is having blogs about your service business, sending links back to your website, which is an indicator to Google that you are going to rank higher. And then we're going to continue to build links. So once that is published, this is what I'm going to tell you. All of your articles for those 70 to 150 keywords are going to rank, most of them. So I would say 90% are going to rank in the top 3. So you are going to get a ton more free organic traffic. So most clients will start with maybe 10 to 15 visitors a month, and then they're going to end up with over 200 visitors a month as the campaign is optimized and launched. Now imagine if you were spending $3 on those 200 clicks, or $5 on those 200 clicks. You can see how it would save you a lot of money every month. So it saves clients thousands of dollars a year by having a very strong organic campaign. So we're going to rank in the maps. We are going to rank in, well, obviously in that 3-pack, we want to rank really high, but then we're also going to rank organically. And these are the different sections of Google. And so with SEO, you have to have a super healthy website, and that's really important to us. That allows you to get ranked in the organics and the local maps section, because we add some special code to your website. It's called structured data markup. We've covered all of this in the podcast. It's a huge part of the process to do this. But what's really cool is that when people landed on your landing page, they're greeted with a walk-on video spokesperson that's telling, hey, here's why we're better. This smart chat bot, which is trained about information on your company and ways they can request a quote. And because we've created this website that's healthy, that's fast, and it converts, we are outranking everybody, every competitor for the clients that we work with. And then we continue to add more articles and SEO links until they're just ranking really well. But what's cool is our websites convert like about 15%. So that's 15 out of 100 visits of everybody is going to convert as a lead. So you can see we got the website healthy. We've got your SEO ranking. We got the videos. We've got the forms that are measuring marketing. We've got all of this done. And then we turn on your marketing ads. And marketing ads usually go live once the website is up and it's converting. So we never start ads before the website goes live, because ads, if you're spending money on marketing and the site isn't converting or you're not measuring it, you don't know what works. So what we do is when the site goes live, we start with ads. And the first ad we run is your local service ads, are also called Google Guaranteed or Google LSA. That is a pay per lead process, and we will pick your highest dollar services that Google has LSA ads for, and we can run ads for that. And so that is the very, very top of Google search. So if you look for your service near me, you're going to see those come up, and we'll pick your zip codes and your area codes that you want to work with and the main services. So we have your local service ads, and then we set up a Performance Max campaign. So why you want to do a Performance Max campaign is because currently they will promote your maps listing. So if you're like, you go in there and you see this, hey, this Google search, and you're looking on the maps and you click more, you see these sponsored ones. Those are from Performance Max campaigns. And one thing we do is we have a smart technology in our forms so that spammers, and this happens a lot, will go in and fill out forms to make money on your Performance Max campaigns. Well, we have a tool in there, and I don't want to give all of it away in case someone is listening, but we have a specialty script that makes them, that detects if it's a Performance Max campaign, and it makes sure that the quote that they are requesting is a real quote for it to process. Because with Google, you pay for each form that is filled out. So our forms are built to block spam and to keep what is good. So we're going to have Performance Max. So you show up in the map section. We're going to have your local service ads. We're going to do a Google search ad. So if they're searching for a search ad for a specific service there, if Google shows it as an ad, then you will show up. And that's going to generate a lot of leads. And then we're going to set up a Google remarketing campaign. So if they find you through SEO, or they click over on your social media account or something like that, then what's going to happen is they're going to be tracked down through remarketing ads. So it's like when they visit a site, it says, hey, they were here. It creates an audience, and we're going to follow up with them. We'll then clone everything to Bing and make a Bing campaign as well, which Bing is Yahoo and Bing. We will do Facebook intention ads. So if they are in market for your service, we could do that. And then we'll have a Facebook remarketing. Now you're like, Matt, that sounds like a lot of money to be spent on ads. Do I really want to spend money on ads? Here's what I'm going to tell you. In service businesses, if you measure your marketing, and we will measure all of your marketing by putting UTM tracking on all of your ad campaigns, we can determine where each lead comes from, how much your return on investment is. And I will tell you, hands down, that you will get a great return on investment on the marketing campaigns we set up. So the average cost per lead may be $25 to maybe $35 in your area. You are going to get a great return on investment. So if you're selling a high ticket item and they become a customer or one of your services, it's a great way to spend on that. But we measure everything. And so when a client says, hey, I spent $1,000 on ads this last month, I will point out all the leads that they generated from Google, and they can see what a big part of it is their business or Bing or Facebook or whatever. So we measure the ROI, but here's what I'm going to say. Would you spend $1,000 to get $20,000 in revenue? Of course you would. Or would you spend $1,000 to get $4,000 in profit? Of course you would. So all this depends on what your margins are, your industry, different things like that. So this is very, very important. So we got ads, we got SEO, we got local search, we got your website, we got videos, we got the folder. This is the foundation for what is really going to help you grow. And you're like, Matt, you haven't talked about like social media except for like, Facebook, Instagram ads. Not yet. And we will get to social media, but here's what you need to realize. You probably got 100, 200 followers on your Facebook page. And really, like creating a bunch of posts with all of these designs and brand to reach 100 people that already follow you, it's not really worth it right now. Social media gets moved down a little bit later. What we want to do is we've got a really wide front door now with our ads with all of this. We've got SEO. And so we're generating all of these leads. And for most new customers that we have, this is a very stressful point in their business because they went from probably not generating hardly any leads online to getting a lot of calls. And so now there's operational things. There's like they're hiring, they are making sure they've got the contractors to grow. We kind of walk through this. And what's cool about measurable marketing is you can turn off things like ads, or we can pause them. And we've had to do this for clients. You can pause certain things, but you can't pause like SEO. You can't pause your map campaign. You can't pause a lot of the other campaigns that we're going to talk about here in a moment. But what I'll tell you is we can pause some of those to allow them to catch up. But we've got this wide front door open, but we need to now improve conversion. So I'm going to talk to you about kind of the secret sauce for growth is that you've got a wide front door. We got to close the back door so nothing slips through the cracks. And this is based on, if you ever read the book, Michael Gerber, The E-Myth Revisited, it's about building systems for your business. So one thing we build for all of our clients is our lead CRM. Some clients use this to run their whole business, but it's a custom CRM built on Knack based on your business's workflow. This is planned out during your 2-day meeting. But when a client or a prospect fills out a quote form on your website, they are automatically going to go into your CRM. It's automatically going to send them a text and an email confirmation and thank them for requesting a quote. And then you can go into your CRM and you can see the customer, you can see where they came from, you can send them a message, you can send them a text, you can schedule an appointment with them. This is all planned out for your business. Now, I know you probably have a CRM to run your business. And so a lot of times what we'll do is if your CRM is good and strong and it works and you've got it all organized, we'll just use our lead CRM to measure your marketing and ROI. That's a simpler process and it costs less. And that's fine, but you can use your CRM as well. So they can work in connection with each other because they have open API, which allows the two apps to kind of talk together. So if they call you, let's say someone calls you, you go into the CRM, you'll see the call there, you click the button, and then it will add it to the CRM. It could add it to your CRM as well. And then it tracks their marketing. So we're measuring the marketing for every web lead, every call lead. We are asking how they heard about us as well to put that into that system. So let's say you add somebody to your CRM or to the system through a phone call. It'll automatically send them that PDF welcome package. Here's our unique selling points. Here's why we're better. And it's going to add them to a custom prospect campaign. So say, for example, we've got 5 great unique selling points of why you're better. That would be on a drip campaign to share with them why you're better as you are getting ready to meet with them. So maybe it's a quick service call and you don't want to send that. It would only be for your higher ticket items that you're maybe going to quote them, and there's a decision process. Each business is a little bit different, but the marketing automation is planned out to work with them and work with their business. I will tell you that the custom CRMs that we work with, every lead goes into them for sure. And then we will push them to your CRM if it is. Maybe you close them in your CRM, and that's how that process works. It will then trigger an action to our CRM to mark it as closed so that we can figure out the ROI. And this is why a custom CRM ecosystem matters is, number one, we're able to track your marketing return on investment. So in small business, you can't spend money and just get your name out there. If you spend $1, you got to make $2 back. And if you can do this predictably, then you're going to spend as much as you can, and then we can measure growth. So why our custom CRM number 2 is we're able to communicate via SMS and email. And so we use a really cool marketing SMS system called Text Magic we set up for your account. And basically it allows you to log in and follow up via SMS. In today's world, people text. It also does email. Through this, we're able to manage marketing automation so we can opt people out. You can add notes. And it's very, very helpful. We also do something which I mentioned in our training of all of these episodes is our referral campaign. So before and after pictures, a lot of people are excited about what they're having done. And so we basically integrate a referral campaign and say, hey, if you take a picture before and after of our work, and obviously this may not be for every job, but before and after for something big, they take a picture of it and they tag you in it, they thank you in it and say you did a great job. And guess what? We send them a gift card. And so there's a referral campaign that the CRM can trigger, sends them a PDF and guide for that. We're also able to ask for reviews when a job closes. So it sends out a text and it says, hey, how did we do? If it says, hey, you did terrible, then, hey, let's talk about it and let's make it right. If they say, hey, we did great, then it pushes them onto Google. And so it automates your ability to get reviews on Google. You can also use it to send out thank you gifts. So like, hey, do we want to send this person a thank you gift? It can schedule a job for someone in your office or a task for them to send out the thank you gift. And if someone refers you business, remember on our forms, we're going to say, how did you hear about us? And if they say referred by a friend, and then when that job closes, we can then give a gift to someone who refers you. So the custom CRM is really the infrastructure for how we manage the communication and the touch points of your business. And it also connects to the marketing automation. So as I mentioned, every new lead who comes into your prospect system, they are going to get timed unique selling point emails. And then once they become a customer, we're going to follow up with them and they're going to get quarterly emails. And so now when someone buys, what if you could upsell them on a different service? What if you can cross-sell them to, a product that you have that they don't really know about? They just thought you did this one service. They didn't know you did this other. So we want to make sure that we communicate your unique selling points to prospects, cross-sell your customers. And we also want to ask them for referrals and let them know about your referral campaign. So once you have the back door closed with your CRM and we've got all of this things done, we are going to then continue to optimize your ads, continue to order SEO content, because your website has targeted landing pages that we're driving paid traffic to. You're going to get a high conversion rate. You're getting hundreds and hundreds of new visitors a month from SEO and ads. Leads, it's heavy. You're getting a lot of new leads. They're flowing into your CRM and you're able to manage your business. And so obviously at that time, you've got to hire and you've got to expand. So the big foundation is done. And so now what? What are we going to do? And so I'm going to kind of walk you through. Usually once the CRM is done, I want to walk you through and I'll tell you a little bit more about the referral campaigns, your free offer, the thank you gift, social media automation, and all of that. We'll kind of dig into this. So the referral campaign, I want to go back and just talk about that, is that when a prospect shares their experience and their real life experience on social media, it is very, very impactful. And I'll explain this. Well, let me explain it with a story. Some years ago, I was doing training and I was training some marketing consultants about the impact of unique selling points. And we were talking about marketing, and a guy comes through training and he's thinking about becoming a marketing consultant, but he owns a pool company in Georgia. The guy's name was Russ. Great dude. And he comes through training and he doesn't really do anything with the marketing business, but he emails me about, I don't know, probably a year later and says, Matt, I doubled my pool business. And immediately I'm like, well, I knew the marketing strategies would work, but I was like, well, tell me what you did. I said, it sounds like you did a lot. He said, Matt, I only did 2 things. And so obviously I can't wait to talk to this guy and hear what he did. And he did 2 things. Number one, he went home and he really finalized his unique selling points. He made his business better than all of his competitors. And I'll give you some examples. He partnered with some landscape companies, some patio furniture companies, and he asked them for discounts if he referred him business. And so he got that. He did other things like his on-time delivery, service included, just a lot of different things to make him stand out. So he had a great unique selling point overall marketing message. When he went out on a sales call and gave him the folder, they were way better than all of his competitors. And so I'm like, well, he's like, that increased conversion dramatically. But then he told me, he said, the only thing we did is we kind of made this document and we sent it to our pools. And what we asked him is take a before picture and tag us in it. And like, hey, I'm doing a new pool with my buddy Russ. I don't remember the name of the company. So it's doing a new pool. And then halfway through, they would do another, hey, here's an update on the pool. And they would tag the company on social media. Hey, they're doing great. Just want to thank them for that. And then when they're done, they did one more post and said, hey, it came out great. It looks great. Everything is done. Thank you so much. And they would tag. And Russ was telling me, he's like, I didn't do ads. I didn't do anything. We got so many leads and deals from just the referrals on social media. And this is why we do these referral campaigns. And I'll explain how it works. The referral campaign is very, very powerful. And what I mean why it's powerful is because for you to get somebody to say you're doing a good job is 10 times as loud as you saying I do a good job. When you get that referral, number one, they're not going to fight on price because that person who referred you said, hey, you did a great job. The other thing is for you to reach 500 people or 600 or 1,000 on social media, that's an expensive ad. And that's expensive for you to reach out. And so here's a way for you to get in front of people really for almost no cost and to get exposure for your business. And so how it works is basically if you are doing a project and it's a bigger project and you want to get this referral, this person to send you referrals, and it's a big job, it has to be something noticeable. So depending on your service business, this may not be something that you can do. But if it's substantial, they tag you a before and after picture. And if you do everything in one day, it would be one day, not like a pool, 3 times. And then you say, hey, if you do this and you take a screenshot of it and you tag us in it and share it publicly on social media, we'll send you a gift card just as our way of saying thanks. And it could be anywhere from $25, Starbucks, whatever you want to give away, local restaurant, gas station, whatever. And then sometimes, depending on the ticket item or the expensive item, you can say, hey, we will also give you X amount of dollars per referral you send us. And so, or referral we get. So remember on our forms, we say, hey, how did you hear about us? When you're adding them by phone, how did you hear about us? So we're going to know who, as each project closes out, if there was a referral, and then you can thank them. So then we're going to have the referral campaign. We're also going to implement some sort of free offer into your website. This is planned out during the 2-day planning session. And it's kind of like, what can we give away that's insider information to help people decide or educate? So I'll give you a couple examples of it maybe. So we're doing implementation right now for a flooring company, and we're doing a virtual showroom. So they can try out the virtual showroom and they can upload pictures and they can see different flooring on there. So they can try that out, and just a quick registration for an email. We are doing a kitchen remodeling company, and they have the ultimate kitchen design remodeling checklist or something like that. That's on their website. It's an ebook that they can quickly request and opt in. So these are people that are maybe not ready to request a quote, but we're giving away something for free where they can opt in. And then once they opt in, they're going to get nurtured by our marketing automation campaigns to follow up with them until they say, hey, I'm ready to request a quote. So pretty cool. When we do our thank you package as well, and so let me recap. So we got our referral campaigns for projects that are active, free offers where people can opt in on our website. All of that's automated. And so you're going to be getting leads through this way as well. And then you're going to implement some sort of thank you gift into your CRM. So I usually say, hey, if it's $4 for the gift, I would build that into the price of your project. And what I would do is make sure everyone gets a welcome gift. And what you want to do is inside of your thank you gift, you're going to send some referral cards, some information about what you do for referrals when you get them. And then there's a thank you card that opens up and a QR code for them to scan. And then it will give them the ability to leave a review. So the law of reciprocation, when you do something nice for them, when you're kind to somebody and you provide value for them in your thank you gift, some companies do cups. High-end companies do like Yetis and gift baskets. I've got a company that does like a lunch pail, which is a pretty cool item, easy to ship as well and cheap. They get it and they're like, hey, this is cool, thank you. And so because you did something nice for them, then they're much more likely to do something nice for you, and that is to leave a review. And so if you've struggled to get reviews and you're like, I've got, 25, 30, and you've been in business, a long time, you're going to get a ton more reviews, and it's automated, and they kind of come in through that. And then finally, we do implement social media automation. So is there more than that? Yeah, that's a lot of work to do. And you can see how hopefully it all comes together, but it's everything else that I've mentioned in this podcast. But I wanted to make a summary of how we make it rain for clients. So think about all of that thing. So it's probably all the things that you need to do in your business to grow, but it's really hard for you to implement all of those. Number one, you just don't have the time. Number two, if you hire somebody, there's no way they have the capacity, the competency. They're not going to know how to do these things. And so it's difficult to do. But as I've shared this with you, you probably resonates. You like, I would like this done for my business. Well, and you're like, hopefully you found this super duper helpful, because I'm sharing it just to hopefully help you understand this can be done. And we've got tools and resources to tell you how to do it yourself. So if you're interested and you're listening to this, how can I explain more? So what I would consider doing is I would go back and I would listen to the first episode where I talk about, measurable marketing. We go through USPs and we go through the entire training podcast where I'm teaching what goes into marketing service businesses for them to grow. I think you're going to find it super helpful. It's all free. There's no strings attached. And we just put out these podcasts to help service businesses, knowing that if we help enough people for free by just providing value and helpful information, if we help enough people win, then we're going to win as well. The other thing I want to mention is that if you're interested in the Blueprint book, which I think you'll find very, very helpful, is you can go to our website at Grow Inc. That's GRO.INC. And you can just request one of our free books. And so inside of the book, there is the entire blueprint. It's also available in audio. I think it's in Kindle version. You can read it on Apple or Google devices. And so it's very, very helpful, but it's the blueprint for your industry, for the exact steps and things that you need to do to win in service business marketing. And it goes through USPs, platforms and offers, the marketing arsenal, marketing automation, custom CRMs. It's also available in audio format, so you could listen to the audio, which I think you'll find very, very helpful. And so I hope you request our free resources. In addition to that, there is a checklist of the marketing tools we use. There is also a checklist of the marketing task that you need to do. And so that is the summary of all of that. So hopefully you'll find those resources very, very helpful. They're all free and they're all available on our website. And just so you know, we don't call you. We don't have any sales team or people reaching out and saying, hey, we were desperate to work with you. Actually, our business model is very, very different because we provide so much helpful information. As I mentioned before, we actually have an application where we say, hey, if you're interested in working with us, you got to fill out an application. People go out, or business owners like you, if they are a good fit. And a lot of times we'll meet companies that are spending, $3,000, $4,000 a month with a marketing agency. And they are bummed because they're not getting a portion of what we would do. This is in what I mentioned in this podcast is what we do for every single client at a very affordable price, because obviously our metric system is based on your success. And so we really get paid when everybody wins. And so that's how our business model works. But if a company is spending a lot, they're not getting anything, and they really, really want to grow, we will look at their information. They can fill out an application. We schedule their first 1 hour call. Then we do a deep dive and an investigation meeting. And then we come up with a strategy and a plan and say, something like this, would this work? And then that's when we start the 2-day meeting, and we really plan everything out. At the time of this recording, we are out scheduled for at least 2 months. And so we're not making this audio to say, hey, we want to get business. We're making this audio so that you have a detailed summary of everything that goes into growing your service business to make it rain. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of effort. And it's taken us 20 years to develop these strategies. But I hope that you found it helpful, and I hope that you'll be able to use some of the tips to implement into your business to see it grow. Again, my name is Matt Law, CEO at Grow Inc. I want to thank you for listening, and I hope to have a conversation with you one day in the future. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the podcast today. We hope you found today's episode helpful and informative. For more information about Grow Inc. and to request our free marketing blueprint ebook and other resources, please visit www.grow.inc. That's GRO.inc. We'll catch you in the next episode.